Hey guys, we're here at Occupy Eugene, also known as Sleeps. We are occupying publicly owned open spaces, not parks. That's important because parks are, very heavily enforced, the trespassing rules. Open spaces, not so much. They ain't gonna start trespassing against you unless you're refusing to leave. Yeah, we've got a few properties, lots of different spaces, and we're looking them up to find out who owns what. We're just going into the county building, and they got something called Easy Map in Lane County here, and you can just click on this satellite map, and it tells you on the different spaces who owns what. You guys probably got something similar in Portland's county building or whatever. There's also something, if you Google Lane County maps, you can do it on the internet with a slightly inferior map, and probably have similar equivalent there in Portland. Okay, so yeah, that's your strategy for the day. Remember guys, we're all one, and keep the educational campaign going, and give people the wisdom of the primitives. And yeah, maybe I'll see you guys out there, or come on down, All right.
How have we been able to do this? A lot of luck, a lot of love, but also a lot of community support. And as there's many individual stories in this camp as there are people, our supporters are just as individual. I mean, you can reach back to Occupy. You can reach back to, we have a Franciscan monk that comes by. We have very well employed members of the community that come by to help. To a small extent, we have church help, which always has its double-edged sword, but they were crucial in getting things rolling. Businesses, letting us get water, some of our basic needs. And this location we're at right now isn't really in a neighborhood itself, but every time we're in the neighborhood, the neighbors come out. When we were at Whoville 1 and 4, we were eating garden vegetables every night because the people in the neighborhood were bringing us the vegetables from the garden to cook with. And on top of, nobody's pretending who they are here, but they're just having an opportunity once again to show who they are. And the people driving by, I don't really think they understand. I think they see the tents and it scares them. The name Whoville. It was comprised kind of a play off Dr. Seuss in the city melting the Grinch's heart, but it also factually goes back to Hoovervilles. And if we put shanty houses out here, people would drive by and think it was an art installation. They wouldn't know what it was. But everybody driving by to see the tent in the field knows exactly what that is. That's somebody's sleeping quarters. And I think that the most angry screams we get out of cars are probably from people who are closest to being in a Whoville. And they're just afraid. Because they don't understand that they're not the only ones that things happened to them and it wasn't their fault. And if they have to open their mind to the fact that, man, I did everything right and this is still happening, that's hard. And I think people should come down here. I think they should talk to the people here, listen to what they have to say. And instead of focusing on what they think the differences of people are, look at what the similarities are and how the lives have probably taken similar tracks, and unfortunately for them, they're still kind of stuck out in that 9 to 5, taking a left on Hilliard Avenue when the red light tells them to. And I think what scares people too is the freedom that's in these camps. We don't have all the luxuries, but we don't want all the luxuries. We just want a good night, safe sleep, and to live our life the way that we want it. And that doesn't mean it interferes with your life. We don't come to your house and tell you how to mow your lawn. We don't tell you if you should have a rose garden or a swimming pool or whatever it is that brings you pleasure. But the people in this camp find their happiness in a different way. And if we could understand that, we could coexist. We're here today at Whoville number 9. This is the 9th Whoville camp that we've set up since we made our initial jump out of the original sleeps protest at Free Speech Plaza in Eugene, Oregon. What we find is we've really made a lot of good gains by we shoot for the number 10. 10 people, a porta potty, into a neighborhood. We set up, looks like a military camp, deep. We don't run it like a military camp. We use the military order of things on the bottom for the infrastructure, but really a across-the-board hierarchy. Natural leaders kind of rise out of it, which works better. At the beginning, I had to be the bad guy a lot. I had to make a lot of the decisions, and I think that worked. But now we've hit the next step. We use a 3-person committee now. Basically, if we have a problem within the camp itself, most of them are outsiders, people coming by, people wanting to join. We go to the committee, and the committee makes the decision. And it takes that decision making, A, off one person, and B, it takes it off that person always being the heavy. I wouldn't call it a problem, but a result of what we're doing is a lot of people with similar needs are being attracted to what we're doing. Whoville number 9 came out of being overrun again by people in the community with needs. What we've tried to do is we base most of our decisions on behavior. A lot of issues going on here, but we put similar people together that we feel that can cohabitate. When we make these jumps like this, we separate. But the way the laws, the ordinances are here in Eugene, in 5 to 8 days, everybody's got to move again, and we tend to kind of reclump and then have to do it over. So one of the things with the permanent sites that we need is where we can set up permanent sites, where people with different behaviors and things that work for them, where they can cohabitate. But it all still comes back to those 10 people. I liked that number before all this started, but I've seen it in action. And there's something about the number 10 that works. When 10 people are together in a small community, some people are calling them tribes, it's been coming out the last few days, and that may be more accurate, that they get along. They don't need to hold nightly meetings. They don't need a lot of the, I don't want to say government system, Monday night meeting, 7 o'clock, because people work it out on their own, just between each other. If there's a big issue, obviously there's a community meeting. But in 9 moves, I don't remember one big issue coming out of it when it was just the 10 people camp. Well, we just found out the city council's put a proposal out this weekend. We're going to meet with them tomorrow night. And surprisingly to say, it's very close to the proposal that we offered them last week. So I'm happy about that. They like our numbers. They listened to the number 10. That was the thing I was afraid of, that they were going to, want to continually do the thing that didn't work, which is put a lot of people in one place. They seem to have a system. The best thing about it is they're not asking for one agency to run everything. What they want to do is they're letting it to be autonomous like it's supposed to be. There's small groups of people approaching the city, asking, to participate in the ability to set up a safe, secure camp and run it themselves. And that's what Whoville's all about. It's self-governance, it's self-security, it's self-regulation. And I think it can work.
So Sleeps, I guess, was originally formed back in November of 2012. They did a lot of actions with the sleep as a human right, stop the torture, let the people sleep at night. And I think it kind of went dormant after the last protest back in April. 23 people were arrested. People were just exhausted from sleeping on the concrete for, I think they said 50, 60 days they were out here last time. And then back in August, a small group of people came together over at 6th and High and started camping, and they were out there for a couple weeks. The cops came and cited somebody illegal camping, and it took off from there. We decided to come to the plaza, stay for one night, and now 6 weeks later we've got 4 camps going, and it's a mix of sleeps, and then from that came Whoville, and it's all sprung out of Occupy, I suppose. Sleeps is safe, legally entitled emergency places to sleep. I know that it started a couple years ago, an offshoot of the Occupy movement. They've been doing direct actions, and for the last 2 years, just trying to raise the awareness of the houseless problem here in Eugene. It was resurrected, I guess, about a month and a half ago. A group of people decided to come together and camp out, and we were here for probably 2 weeks, and they came and ticketed us, and then after that we decided to go to Free Speech Plaza for the night. We were just going to stay for one night. It was the same day that the Supreme Court ruled the curfew at the plaza unconstitutional. So we were just going to go for one night, and it turned, like, they left us alone, so by the third night we had almost 100 people coming to, just because it was a safe place to sleep. They had nowhere else to go. And so people were coming just to sleep at night, and I guess we were in the plaza for, I guess, 3 weeks before Whoville hopped out and started setting camps up throughout the city. We've had 6 different Whoville sites now. A couple by the fairgrounds, a couple out, and then now we've got 3 sites over here outside of downtown. And Whoville was a play on the Hooverville, Dr. Seuss theme, person is still a person, no matter how small. So it's just giving people that don't have a voice, and I think that's the most important thing here. There were like 23 people that were arrested at Free Speech Plaza back in April. The court case, I'm not sure why they said it was unconstitutional, but it's a free speech plaza, so I guess infringement on rights and such. But the same ruling cleared all the protesters of all charges. It declared the curfew unconstitutional, and it also stated that the tent is a symbol of protest.
Occupy is good because at first it taught me how to survive out here. I was around cats who have been surviving out here without doing the negative things that I'm really trying not to go back to doing. Okay, cats who can survive on the up and up. They showed me how. On top of that, at first it was really hard to say I'm homeless. It's like your first time at a meeting, man. When I first came out here, I've never been homeless before. I've couch surfed. I never couch surfed long, because if you're willing to kick indoors and take walks, you will get a house pretty fast. After my cross-country spiritual journey, though, I know that brings about negative karma, and I'm trying to do everybody right in every way which I can. So I feel like currently being homeless is just a stage in my journey, teaching me different valuable lessons, like the humility of having to carry around a sleeping bag on the bottom of my backpack, and be interacted with the way which people interact with somebody who's carrying around a sleeping bag.
Now, the personal reason why I'm here is because my girlfriend died homeless, which is from airborne meningitis. That's why I choose now to be with the organization to change the actual law, that because it's asinine, really asinine that they can get away with camping ban. Okay, because I work also with the warming shelters, and we house almost a good portion of the homeless. And they're like, okay, instead of letting people sleep where they need to sleep, they want to give them tickets and run them out and go and put them in jail, which is stupid.
Okay, this is from the runoff. Okay, great. It's just water, you think? Well, I'm sorry, this is stagnant water. This stuff is not the healthiest shit to be living around. These people are forced to have to live around this stuff. Can't we come up with better ideas? I mean, come on now. The city should supply places for this until we can get sufficient housing that is comfortable for them. That's just comfortable. Sufficient housing that's comfortable for us, for them, for us. It's got to be comfortable for them, okay? And then because you make it, you say, oh, we'll create some plan for them, but then, and it would be comfortable in our eyes, but you got to look through their eyes, okay? You can give them this housing that's comfortable, looks for you, and they'll move into it at the beginning, but then they become uncomfortable over a short amount of time, believe it or not, and they'll bounce out of it. It's too much of a culture shock, so we need to create something that's kind of halfway in between. These programs, they're designed, they put people in, they say, oh, look, we got them housed. But do they track them a year down the road, 2 years down the road even? I'd say if somebody's in housing for 2 years, now you've got a success story. Okay? You have to at least a year before you can begin to say you have a success story. Not just because we got them in housing, look, they're off the streets this month. They're done. We got one. All right, cool, let's walk away. No. We need to spend the money to actually follow through and make sure that they're comfortable in that housing, stay in that housing. If they're not, find them something a little bit less of a housing to where they can kind of step upward, you know? It's too much of a culture shock. But still, we need help from the house people for tarps, equipment, to be out here for the parades, with the live stream cameras and the filming of this. The news doesn't always get it. The news will show up, but then as soon as the news leaves, I've heard rumors that the cops will come sweep in right after that. They're watching until the news goes away. We need people to be here at all times, or at least supplying video cameras and video and live stream cameras to people that are living here, picking a few people that are getting to know them, and once they're responsible enough. Obviously won't sell the camera or whatever, break it or lose it or whatever, it's stolen, whatever, and hook them up with the damn live stream account and let them have a camera or even one or two of them on hand. Because what happens if the cop comes up on the one guy with the live stream camera? Then you have to have a backup. Or what if one guy's not there? There's more chance for the backup. You have to try and keep somebody on site all the time with the camera to catch all these weird things that are going on. Normal everyday things, just so you can see how hard it really is out here. And when people look stressed out and not too pretty, it's because this ain't easy. Okay, you're kind of weighing between what do I pick between, and I'm sorry, your appearance is not always going to be that. You know, we'd rather have it that. If we had it easier, more stable, we'd be able to generate our time. We'd love to look a lot better. Found out now in Eugene there are very few resources. I've been asking around. Very, very few resources here. The churches, not very many. The shelter or the mission is down the road about 10 blocks from here. They only serve 1 meal a day, if even that. They're full. They can't put anybody new in there. I don't know yet. I'm still learning. I mean, I said, where can I go get something to eat like I would in Portland? You know, these different missions. Food banks or whatever, food pantries, whatever. They're like, well, we got a list, and the list has only got about 10 things on it. For this town is really kind of big. And the homeless population is beginning to grow. And these guys, to go get something to eat, they're sitting over there eating bagels. And they could be eating meat, vegetables, hot food. There's not much here. We're about to go move the kitchen. There's the one place in this Whoville group that they can cook food. You know what I've seen there for food? Potatoes. Left some little sausage that barely there. Last night I had cold, I said, can I have something to eat? They make me up some cold instant mashed potatoes. They could have made it hot, but cold was fine. And what else did I have? A peanut butter sandwich. I mean, come on now. In Portland, there's a lot more food available to where you can access. These guys, they can't really store a ton of food here. They don't have refrigerators. They need quick access to food on a daily basis so they can maybe get food and bring it here and cook it. Otherwise, they have a bunch of clutter, a bunch of stale food, no place to keep it, so on and so forth. Okay, they need to have close access, or people bringing them food on a regular daily basis. So if there's a food pantry or food somewhere that they're picking up, whatever it takes. Okay, somebody driving by on the way home by the food pantry, pick up some food, drop it off here so they can cook it for dinner.
I'm a coordinator of Food Not Bombs. We gather free food from various local businesses and other sources, and we cook it up, and we give it away. And this is where we do it on Sundays, 2 to 4, down at what we call the Park Blocks, where the Saturday market is on Saturdays. Oh, I've been doing it for over 10 years, but this particular crew, the Sunday crew, has been about 2 years. And we're kind of in conjunction with Occupy. We do it here with the Occupy medical bus and tent. And yeah, it's a lot of fun, and it's very rewarding.
My name is Sue Sierra Lupe, and I'm the clinic manager for Occupy Medical. We set up during the encampment of October 2011 just as a first aid tent, and after the police shut us down a few days before Christmas, we decided that what we needed was an actual clinic. A free clinic. We're using the single payer model. We operate with the skill base of volunteers, professional healthcare professionals, as well as donations. So the patients come in, it doesn't matter what they have in their pocket, what kind of insurance they have, they get care. And our basic belief is healthcare is a human right. So we don't ask them about anything other than their medical history, and we serve everyone that comes, no matter what the situation, and we are happy to serve. And we're going on our second year this October, and we were able to get a grant for the bus that you see behind us, which used to be a bloodmobile. We serve people in there. Originally we set up to serve approximately 20 patients. We're only a 4-hour clinic. However, now we're serving 70, and I suspect that those numbers will go up because the people in our community are neglected, and even the great safety net organizations that we have are flooded and are having a hard time getting funds and are being cut off by the government and by insurance agencies, which is not acceptable to us. So I guess we're going to be in business for a little while, but it is our job to put ourselves out of business so there will be health care for all. And we're going to start doing a little more political background work. I've been to speak to a few Congress representatives already, and been speaking to City Council. And the plight that we see here, we do not only see the homeless. The unhoused make up between 40 to 50% of the population that we serve. We also serve people that have insurance or have Medicare. They can't get in to see their people. We have people that have asthma that have to wait 6 months to see their physician. To not breathe for 6 months is not advised medically. So we offer whatever services we can. One of the reasons why we have survived is because we use our allies, and our allies use us. We have had the local ambulance company and mental health team drop off patients for us to serve, and we have also had that same team bring us their relatives to serve. We have had DHS, Whitebird, which is a free community health clinic. Oh my gosh, so many people that have brought us patients because they can't help them. And we have such a diverse group. Last time we had 34 volunteers serving people. We rotate through shifts. People are certified. We have alternative care. If the patient feels more comfortable with alternative care, that is what we provide. It's patient-driven. Their choice, they will comply with care. They are healthier. Everyone wins.
This is where we maintain the integrity of our small community that we have here. We do our front desk shift, which folks sometimes can be called hosts. I'm more familiar with front desk / security. Everything all the way back, this is ours on the inside of the fence, which we share with Park and Recs here in Eugene. Visitor sign-in, once you do that, we have logbooks and all information to make sure that day-to-day running is maintained. So on the side over here is the proposed site. for a donation storage area. This is a city plan, what we actually developed with the city's help. It's a tentative design. Some of these structures, such as this one, has actually been taken out because it was deemed permanent. But everything you see here is supposed to be semi-permanent, so that it can easily be taken off the site. We are going to have micro businesses in this area. Of course, we've got the porta potties, but that's only going to last so long until we get said aqua pods, which have restroom facility and shower. The eventuality, we've got the building in place. Over here, this is our pantry area and / dining and community. We've had a lot of help from the outside community. Get us off the road here, or off the ground, I should say. Please, this refrigerator was donated by the Muslim community. Very nice folks. You know, we have a small microwave. Of course, this is not complete, but by the city standards, it's working right now so that we can function. Cool. Area preparation and cooking. We prepare coffee in the mornings. Usually we want to have that in hot water ready for most folks so that, hey, you can carry out their day. Let's see, over on this area, back over here, we've seen the raised garden beds. So that's in conjunction with what we want to do as part of a beautification project to help, you know, I mean, at least beautify it in any small way. We're not allowed to touch the property proper. We can't do any kind of digging or anything like that, as we have a bond on the property to help maintain it. But in this area back over there, you saw that they're empty. There's going to be one large greenhouse structure set up in the next week or so that he's going to bring over, and this is our designer, Alex Daniels. He's the one that has designed most of these bungalow-looking structures. This is a Conestoga wagon. This is a alternative design to a tent. The designer, Eric and Faye, they came up with this design. He was enamored of the old covered wagons in the West. And so what you have is his idea. There are 3 variations of this right now. These are the latest incarnations. More of the raised gardens. A volunteer brought this in. This is an actually neat little unit that's used to move these Conestogas with little or minimal effort. It's very cool. What I can do is I haven't seen inside one. They actually can be made quite homey. You know, what we want to do is maintain a minimal footprint as possible, just for, you know, the beautification and austerity of the whole project. I can take you around to one of the bungalows and show you the inside. So, I don't know who else is actually here, but at this point, I mean, this is what the inside of one of the bungalows looks like. It is an unfinished structure, yet the city came out, found that it met their criteria as far as how much room it takes for the foundation down here, space, and integrity as far as living. They are unfinished. There is insulation that will be coming in at that point. But the city has designated these structures to be habitable. It's a wonderful thing. 30 of these structures, all told, will be on site. Right now you see a couple of tents over here. These are prospective members that are going to be coming into the village. They got voted in last Wednesday, and they are going through a couple of week probation period as per our community agreement. These covered areas that you see here, these are new structures that are going to be coming up here in the next couple of days. Next Saturday we're having it built. More of the raised gardens. This is the number of Conestogas you're going to get on this side. There are a designated area for 2 more eventually. This is mine, number 8. Not much to look at. This is my home. This is, like I said, it can be made habitable. For me, this is very habitable. You know, the newer incarnations have double insulation on the inside and so on and so forth. This was the very first one built in Eugene as part of the parking program. I was the first resident in one. These are tentative designs that they actually had when they first did this. That is Faye, and she is part of Tyne High. We're here for a year. October 1st, 2014, this project ends. We're hoping, to do what we wanted, what we have planned to do, and that is provide shelter first. Foundation comes through the shelter. After that, if you gain your confidence, get your rest, you don't have to worry about where you're sleeping, where you're eating, where you're going to the bathroom. You can get your dignity back and actually be responsible for your life. Hopefully get into housing, job, whatever that looks like. We want to affect positive change. The folks from Thrivent, which is another organization that actually purchased 6 of these and helped put them up, they came up with the color scheme's wild. So this is, unfortunately, this is being used as storage right at the moment, but you can see what an insulated inside structure would look like. This thing's fantastic. It was over at the Church of Resurrection for about 6 months or so, along with Mike Conestoga and a couple other folks. But this back area, everything that you see is, as it's been marked out, either with the pink or the orange. These are designated spots for the next structures to come in, like I said, which will total probably about 20 more till we get to our future population of about 30 structures, housing up to 35 to 40 people. So in March of 2011, I arrived in Portland thinking I was going to be staying closer to my brother and so on and so forth. I ended up underneath the Burnside Bridge for about 3 weeks before I found Right to Dream 2. Asked them what the heck was going on. Got involved with them. They provided me a tent, and through them I learned about activism with Ibrahim Mubarak and some others. And that, I liked what they were doing down there. What they do is provide shelter and a safe environment for folks to come get that rest. This is what we want to provide also. At least a safe environment for our community here, and bridge the gap, bridge that conception that the outside community has about houseless and what that looks like. So in October, November, Gene Stacy from Sleeps asked me to come down and help them with Sleeps, which I did. We stayed on the federal steps for about a month or so, and various other places, Free Speech Plaza, and ended up getting arrested down on Free Speech Plaza. And that was actually overturned and deemed unconstitutional at that point. We're standing up for our constitutional rights, which is, look man, not only do you deserve a place to actually sleep, legally, yet you can speak about it legally and not be censured for this kind of thing. So anyway, through Sleeps, they asked me to be part of OVE, help get them off the ground. My experience at R2D2, we've achieved this right now. Yes, it is a amalgam of dignity as far as what the structures look like, but what the service is more R2D2.